I'm watching First Take the other day with Kool-Aid Smith, right? And I
can never get tired of that shit.
You know what I'm saying? And he has an interesting little segment. It's top 5 NFC quarterbacks, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, this is right up my wheelhouse because my team is in the NFC East. You know what I'm saying? So I give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, I don't think he knows too much about football, but I'm like, I'm gonna check it out anyway. So I'm gonna throw his graphic up on the screen, but my gripe with he left Vanilla Vic out. But I'm gonna let me just show y'all what he put. Let me show you his top 5 NFC quarterbacks, not NFL quarterbacks. NFC. Hold up, can we see it? You guys see some?
Yes, sir.
You see him?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna read the list off. Right, number 1, Jalen Hurts. I don't have a problem with that. Not at all. Even though I hate the Eagles.
Word. 100%.
Number 2, Brock Purdy. Number 3, Jared Goff. I can live with that. Number 4, Dak Prescott. No go for me. And number 5, Geno Smith, right? Listen. I mean, let me say a couple of things real quick, and then we'll get into everyone's thoughts. First of all, they left my man off the list. They left my man off the list. Correct?
Yes, sir.
And who am I talking about?
DJ Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes, B.
And I know people are gonna be like, "Yo, Danny Dimes, he's he hasn't had great seasons. He's still new." And you're gonna hear, calm down, because I'm gonna say what I feel. It's my opinion. I'm gonna say what I feel. Okay. Yeah, first, I'm gonna give you guys my top 5, right? And then we're gonna you guys can give me yours. Number 1, Hurts, baller, no problem with that. I went with number 2, and he moved from the AFC over to the NFC this year, right? I'm going with Derek Carr. Derek Carr. Say what you want about Carr. Carr put up numbers. Okay.
Yes, he did.
I'm gonna go number 3. Now I know he was hurt, right? He was hurt, and they've been having some. They've been having a lot of problems over there in LA. But I went with Matthew Stafford. When he's healthy, one of the best. One of the best. 100%. 4, I went with my man Vanilla Vic. 100%. And we'll talk about it while we did it. And 5, I went with. No, I'm sorry. 4, I went with Jared Goff, and 5, I went with Geno, or you could put Cousins in there, whatever you feel, right? Now, Ed, I'm gonna go to you first, man.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with his list? Disagree with his list? And do you feel Daniel Jones should be on that list?
I can't lie. I got 3 of his picks that he picked, not particularly in the same order. I got 2 of them are straight off on my list, and I actually got DJ. A little bit New York bias as always, but I got DJ in my top 5. Mm-hmm. So on my list, I got number 1. I got Jalen Hurts. As much as as we just said, I hate.
Gotta give it up.
Passion. Gotta give it up. 14-1 record. Mm-hmm. Had a great Super Bowl game. He was on the losing end, but had a great Super Bowl. Thank God they didn't win.
Indeed. Shout out to Kansas City. My bad.
Shout out to Kansas City. Number 2, I'm gonna pick Brock Purdy because I like what he showed.
That's interesting.
He went 5-0. He was heading into the postseason pretty hot. That San Francisco team had one of the best defenses, and I thought he took full advantage of that, and he had the offensive weapons around him. He just they got hurt. I mean, how many quarterbacks they played in one game? Like even McCaffrey got a quarterback that in the NFC Championship game. Anyway, at number 3, I'm going with Kirk Cousins. I gotta go with my man Kurt. Number 4, I picked Jared Goff because there's a lot of hype on Detroit coming in this year. And number 5, I put my man Daniel Jones. And as a mention, it's like a 5.8 whatever. I'll put Derek Carr in there, but he's out of my top 5.
Okay. Well, all right. We'll swing back to that. Q, what do you got?
All right. So I had to think about this one, man, and I hope y'all dudes don't fucking chop my head off, but But I didn't put Danny Dimes in top 5, but I put him in 6. So I'm gonna do my 6.
Okay.
All right, and I put Daniel Jones at 6.
Okay.
Number 1, but he could have easily made top 5. Number 1, come on, yo, homie ran 7 touchdowns, 700 yards, bro. You know what I mean? There was some starting running backs that didn't even do that, which is bonkers.
That's my argument. Go ahead. Yep.
You know, and he threw the ball, had no weapons. 14 touchdowns, I'll take it. But I definitely think he deserves to be, you know, to be seen as somebody who's definitely up and coming. We know this. 5, I'm gonna put Kirk Cousins, and I feel like, you know, Kirk Cousins, I feel like he just be slept on. I just feel like he would definitely be more in an elite position if the fucking Vikings just start winning in the playoffs.
Yeah,
you know, and if their defense can stop throwing these damn games, it would be a different conversation with him. But he always gets them there, and he's been showing and proving what he can do. You know, he even did it on the Redskins, and they didn't have shit.
Nothing.
So 4, I'm gonna go with Matthew Stafford. And the next 2 people I'm gonna say 4 and 3. I'm gonna bundle these dudes up. 4 and 3 is Matthew Stafford and Kyler Murray. And to be honest, they would probably be a little bit higher in 2 and 3, but they got injured last year. But to be honest, they ill quarterbacks. Like I very rarely have seen Matthew Stafford throw a less than 4,000 yard season, even when he had the, you know, no receiving core with the Lions, and then when he went with the Rams, but you know, he was hurt. Same thing with Kyler Murray.
And
he
2
had
totally different quarterbacks. One's a pocket guy, the other guy's, you know, likes to get out and run. Yeah.
Yep. And then 2, I went with Jared Goff. You know, he definitely had that pick that you had that saved your fantasy league. You know, I'll let you speak more about that. But Jared Goff did his thing last year. Number 1, everybody know is Jalen Hurts. You know, but you know, 5 could have easily been Daniel Jones, so I can't even say I disagree. But I do want to hear Ed talk about it. Did I hear your 5? Cash, I want to hear Ed say why he really think about Brock Purdy. I could say why I don't agree with Geno Smith is because I feel like it took him 9 years to have a good season. I don't know if it's because nobody gave him a shot, but I remember him getting many shots, and all of a sudden, you know, he got DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and you know what I mean, and the coach that they got. That's just a well-rounded team, you know. So I can't put him in the top 5. He needs more than one consecutive season for me to be able to say you top 5. You know, like that's like people, you know, and we're gonna get on this later. That's like people saying Wemby gonna be better than LeBron. Homie just got into the pick. He's playing the summer league, mate. Slow your roll.
That's a great point you bring up. That's one of my points why I put Daniel Jones in the top 5. You mentioned Tyler Lockett and Metcalf, right? Out of all the QBs we named, right? Let's go through the list, right? Dak, CeeDee Lamb, now he's got Brandon Cooks, right? Two premier receivers, right? Geno, we just mentioned the guys he has, right? Brock Purdy, Deebo Samuel, straight baller, number 1, correct?
Oh, insane.
Right? Jared Goff, like you said, my guy who saved my fantasy season, Amon-Ra St. Brown, baller, straight up, number 1, baller, son. He's gonna be one of them dudes out here.
Amon-Ra, right? Oof.
Right, Amon-Ra, 100%. Matthew Stafford, you know, he's had a plethora of number 1s, you know, with Cooper Kupp and all these guys, right?
Odell Beckham, Brandon Cooks at one point.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones, no number 1 receivers.
None.
I don't, you know, we'll see what Jalen Hyatt turns out to be. We'll see. And Darren Waller, you know, we know Darren Waller is a baller. But as of right now, no real number 1 receivers. That's number 1. That's my point, right? Point number 1. Point number 2, I'm looking at his QBR, right? 60.8, right? 6th in the league. It's in line with all these guys. Just as good as Geno's. Geno's 60.8. Better than Dak's 57.9, right? And better even than Derek Carr's, who's at 55.5, right? So he's in line with all the top QBs as far as QBR. His completion percentage, 67.2. Better than Jared Goff's at 65. Better than Derek Carr's at 60.8. Right in line with Brock Purdy's at 67.1. Dak 66.2. So he's right in line. He's in lockstep with all these guys in those 2 categories, right? Touchdowns. 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, right? Probably the lowest of the bunch, right? Jared Goff is 29-7. Derek Carr 24-14. Brock Purdy, well, he's higher than Brock Purdy, but 13-4. Geno 30 and 11, and Dak was 23 and 15. We all know Dak is an interception machine, but you know, we talked about this last week. The low touchdowns was a byproduct of two things. Kafka and Dable not asking him to throw that much, right? Receivers not being able to create separation, right? And to put it on top of that, you got to add his, like Q said, you got to add his 700 rushing yards and his 7 TDs rushing. Yeah, and if you look at his stats, one of our people put a comment on our page on our one of our videos saying that Daniel Jones ripped off like 15 to 20 yard runs when he got it. So that's my argument, and I'm a little saucy, so I might not articulate it the way I wanted to. But we're on Drunk Sports Talk, right?
That's what this show's about.
But salute. But that is my argument for Vanilla Vic to be in the top 5. So real quick, before you go, Ed, let's take a shot from my man Vanilla Vic.
Oh, Vanilla Vic, man, shit. I love that nickname too, Vanilla Vic. Mr. Badnilla.
Let's go.
You already know.
Daniel Jones, New York Giants, stand up. Shit. Salute.
Salute, fuck it.
All right, Ed, talk to me.
All right. So to go with what Q was saying, like Q, I'm gonna answer your question. I know you were like, think I'm bugging because I put Brock at number 2. I just think that whole QB scenario last year with the 49ers was just ridiculous to me. I always like a good QB controversy story. So you got Garoppolo, you got Lance, and then you got Brock. Nobody heard of this guy, Brock. Myself, he was Mr. Irrelevant, wasn't he? Mr. Irrelevant. He was
because he was the last pick in the draft and shit.
The last pick of the draft. Yeah. You know, Garoppolo, y'all saw he got hurt. Lance got hurt. This kid comes in, 5 starts, 5-0, 1,374 pass yards, 13 touchdowns, and 4 intos last season. And I feel like with that defense, with the weapons he had, Deebo Samuels, McCaffrey, Kittle, you know what I mean? I thought like they probably could have went all the way to the Super Bowl, and probably, I was saying it could have been Kansas City, San Fran again, and San Fran could have got their revenge this time around. But y'all saw how in that NFC game, that whole QB squad just got dismantled. So I just, it was just fun to see that. So maybe I'm like I'm picking him I put him as number 2 because a little bit I like the fan aspect part of it for me. I'm sorry, I'm a little sauce too already. But it was just fun for me to see. It was something fresh. It was something fresh to see. And I just want to see what he's coming into this year.
Do you think they gave a lot of for Trey Lance? Do you think that he beats Trey Lance out for that starting spot? And I will say this about Brock. He did come in with a gust of wind. He caught lightning, right? Kind of gave me Tim Tebow vibes a little bit. You know what I mean? I know he's a more talented QB than Tim Tebow. But remember, Tim Tebow came in and caught fire that year. Do you think he beats out Trey Lance, Q? And is he a little bit premature in is Ed a little bit premature in him, coronating Brock?
I think we got to see more. I think we have to see more. He was put into a spotlight where he did succeed, but then again he nobody knew about him. But what film you gonna watch on somebody you don't even know how to play? You have nothing to prepare.
Great point.
That and that's why I feel like when Daniel Jones came right after Eli, he succeeded quickly, but the next season got a little bit more rough.
You sneak up on people.
Now we know how you play now. Oh, okay, we know you just shaky to throw the ball a little bit. We know you have the wide receivers. We know you like to run the ball. We're gonna make this hard for you. I think we need to see what he's gonna do this year. But he does look like. I won't take nothing away from him. He does look like, because if he doesn't get hurt in that game is probably going to be much closer than what it was against the Eagles. But he did show like his head is in the right spot, and I think he's going to be great. I just can't put him in any top 5 until I see him play a little bit more this year and see what he could really do when teams are actually prepared to see what he can do and more prepared with this crazy ass stacked team of the 49ers, because that team is stacked.
Indeed. I agree. I agree with you, and I'm gonna reserve the right to make my judgment on Brock Purdy. Sometime in the season. They say men lie, women lie, numbers don't. That's a popular cliche on the show, if you will, right? But that's not entirely true. You can skew stats and numbers to look however you want, right? And I'm big on the sniff test, the eye test, right? And the reason why I'm holding the Danny Dimes champion, the Danny Dimes flag, is because he just looks dynamic to me. Like, you know what I mean? He reminds me of, hey, everyone relax. He reminds me of Aaron Rodgers, maybe that year, maybe like 5-6 years ago. Remember Aaron Rodgers used to scramble out that pocket and rip off those big runs that would just kill you and get those first downs?
Yeah, little side-on passes.
Yeah. Though he's not Michael Vick, he's not Kyler Murray, he's not Lamar Jackson, but he was very mobile and he was very efficient with his running. And that's what Daniel Jones reminds me of. And I think he's going to get better this year with the weapons he has. And, you know, I just think in the future, I think Daniel Jones, I want all these guys that's hating on DJ, I think they're going to have some egg on their face. You know what I mean? But
they got to bump their brakes because DJ coming.
Facts. And I, you know, and that's just my opinion. Y'all entitled to have your opinions. But